Hello everyone, welcome to Arka Science, and today in this video I will be talking about the monthly horoscope for the month of October 2023 for all the 12 ascendant signs. Before I start, I will be requesting every one of you that please watch this video with respect to your ascendant sign and your moon sign both. Since it is a detailed content, so you will be able to gather more insights if you watch the video with respect to your ascendant sign and moon sign both. From the ascendant sign, you must watch it first in order to understand that how it is impacting you in the physical manifestation in the reality, and from the moon sign it will help you to understand that how it is impacting you at the mental level, at the emotional level. If we talk about the planetary positions and transits, then I will say you that this month, starting from 1st of October onwards, the transits have started. On 1st of October 2023, the first transit happened, that is the transit of Mercury. It entered the sign of Virgo and got exalted and got conjunct with Sun. On 2nd of October 2023, Venus came out of the watery sign of Cancer and it entered the fiery sign of Leo. And just opposite to Venus, we have retrograde Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. On 3rd of October, Mars entered the sign of Libra and got conjunct with Ketu. So 3 days and 3 major transits. Now since Mercury moves pretty fast, so you will see that on 18th of October, Sun is coming out of Virgo. It is entering the sign of Libra, and on 19th of October, Mercury is coming out of Virgo and it is entering the sign of Libra. So the sign of Libra will have 4 planets: Ketu, Mars, Sun and Mercury, means 19th of October onwards. In the sign of Libra, Sun will be debilitated, but there will be Neech Bhang or cancellation of debilitation by Mars. Okay, so I will say that although Sun is debilitated, but it will give you good results during this transit. But the influence of Ketu has to be given more priority over here, the influence, because Ketu here will create a sense of detachment, disagreement or disinterest with regards to the planet it is getting associated with. So whenever these transits are happening to the sign of Libra, that is on 3rd of October when Mars enters the sign of Libra, the initial few days there will be a sense of detachment or disinterest with regards to our action, our channelization of energy, or whichever houses Mars rules in your horoscope. There will be a sense of confusion and dilemma regarding how to work on those areas in day-to-day life. Similarly, on 18th and 19th of October, Sun and Mercury respectively, they are changing the sign, they are coming into the sign of Libra. Now Sun is our confidence, Sun is our ego, our self-esteem. Sun also deals with discipline and punctuality, honor basically, name, fame. So in the influence of Ketu, initially there will be a sense of that lack of confidence, or means you may feel that going more towards inwards rather than facing the real world. So there can be some whimsical decision making, because Ketu is a headless planet. So it can make us feel like let us do this, let us do that, and later on it can make us feel that oh, maybe we have taken some wrong decision. Similarly with Mercury, Mercury is intellect and Ketu is that headless planet. Okay, so there can be like you say something which you must not say, or later on you may repent to that I shouldn't have said all these things. Okay, or how you are implementing your intellect, your ideas, your ideologies and your thought process in real life, that is Mercury. Okay, your learning skill is Mercury. So those things may suffer initial few days when it is entering the sign of Libra in conjunction with Ketu. So I will say you that the As soon as the planet is entering the sign of Libra, the initial 10 days, suppose if it is Mars, 3rd of October, take 10 days, because it will move away from Ketu. Ketu will move backwards and Mars will move forward. So in a span of 10 days, what will happen? Mars will move forward, and slowly and gradually it will come over its own significance, and it will revive its own significance, and it will start giving you good results. It will be away from the influence of Ketu that time. The same rule you will apply for Mercury and Sun also. On 18th and 19th of October, when Sun and Mercury enters the sign of Libra, the initial 10 days, you will see that there can be the influence of Ketu which will fall every one of us. So we should be very careful regarding that. And as soon as Mars, Mercury and Sun, they move considerably ahead of Ketu, that means that 10 days, more they are away from Ketu, more they will revive in its own significance, and they will start giving you good results depending upon where they are transiting. Definitely the sign Libra, where it falls in your horoscope, that will have a major role to play. Second part, Venus. It will be transiting in the sign of Leo on 2nd of October onwards. It will be under the impact of Saturn and Jupiter, retrograde Saturn and retrograde Jupiter. Now, by the double transit of Jupiter and Saturn and its aspect, combined impact on the sign of Leo and Venus, it will activate Leo and Venus. So wheresoever the sign lies, the Leo sign lies in your horoscope, and whatever houses Venus represents in your horoscope, significance related to those things, love, relationship, commitment, responsibility, loyalty, truth and justice, all those things will be activated. Even though Jupiter will be in conjunction with Rahu, marching towards Rahu, still I will say that. Okay. Now Rahu and Jupiter, they are in conjunction in the sign of Aries. Now Aries is lorded over by Mars, and Mars is transiting in the sign of Libra along with Ketu. So that means there can be a time period when you may take some steps, or you can take some decision making, or you may start doing some work or actions or efforts out of nowhere. Means you just feel that okay, let me do it. You have started your work. Later on you might be feeling that oh, I shouldn't have wasted my time here, I should have done something else. Why? Because of that Ketu. Don't forget that. So you have to implement the predictions in that way. Okay. The next part which I must discuss regarding the transit of Rahu and Ketu. In my previous video, when I discussed the transit of Jupiter in the retrograde motion, I discussed regarding that Rahu transit, the Ketu transit. Here also I will discuss regarding it. You see, on 30th of October, Rahu Ketu transit is happening, but that is mean Rahu Ketu, mean longitude of Rahu Ketu. That mean longitude of Rahu and Ketu is actually taken out by some mathematical procedure. That is not their original longitude. That is a mean longitude. And that mean Rahu Ketu, that mean nodes, they are changing the sign on 30th of October 2023. That is, Rahu is moving into the sign of Pisces, Ketu is moving into the sign of Virgo. So suppose among my viewers, those who follow mean Rahu and Ketu, for them, for their information, 30th of October is the date. But suppose if you are interested in the original longitude of Rahu and Ketu, that is the true nodes, true Rahu, true Ketu, then I will say you that they are not changing the sign now. They will be changing the sign on 29th of November 2023. It is very important to understand, because you see, true Rahu and true Ketu, they will be in the junction. Specifically for Rahu, you see, Rahu is transiting at present in Aries, fiery sign. Pisces is the watery sign. So for Rahu, it will be in Gandanta for 1 month. So you can understand that how influential the impact of Rahu will be, because the moment you take the mean longitude, you will see the result from the sign of Pisces. But if you take the true longitude, you will see that it is giving you the results of that Aries sign also and that Gandanta position also. And Jupiter is moving towards Rahu, that true Rahu, during its retrograde motion. More it will move towards true Rahu, more the influence of Rahu on Jupiter will increase. So if you are interested in that true nodes part, then I will say that you have to wait till 29th of November. Okay, so you have to apply or implement the predictions accordingly. Okay, and then only you should go forward for all the ascendant signs and everything, and looking into the fact that Saturn, it is retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. Okay, and now I will start for all the 12 ascendant signs, and yes, definitely it will impact you depending upon your horoscope, your planetary presence in different houses, and the dasa which is active, which you are running through at this point of time. Dasa is the most important part. Dasa together with planetary natal position and the transits, it will give you results. In addition to that, you can look into the Ashtakvarga points also on over the planets which are moving. Like suppose Jupiter is retrograde, Saturn is retrograde, the houses on which they are retrograde, what is the Ashtakvarga points? Or suppose Mercury, Mars, Venus, they are transiting, what is the Ashtakvarga points of that house, or how much points Mercury is giving to that house, how it is giving you good results or average results or otherwise. Okay, so you have to look into various things and then only you have to come into a conclusion. So for that, if you want a consultation from me, check the links down in the description section. You can mail me through my email ID, or you can get connected with me through my Facebook or Instagram accounts. Your comments are always welcome to me, and if you like this video, press the like button, share to your near and dear ones. So now I will start the video, and yes, if you are new to this channel, then don't forget to press the subscribe button, click onto the notification bell icon, so that every time I make a new video and upload it on YouTube, you get notified instantly. So come, let us start. For the Aries ascendant people, on 1st of October 2023, Mercury has made a transit. It has entered the sign of Virgo, which is your 6th house, and got exalted. This transit of Mercury and its exaltation right at the beginning of this month is a very good transit, I will say, because it will ensure that you are going to get success, good results with regards to your all kind of efforts, hard work, your initiatives, actions, and whatever ventures and projects you are working upon. Suppose in case you are thinking to start a new kind of work, or you are getting a new kind of job role, in that case also this is a wonderful time to take up new job role or new starting new work, because you will be able to use your logical and analytical intellect. You will be able to improvise your communicative skills, and which will ultimately not only give you good results and success, but also it will improve your name, fame, and you will be able to receive good appreciation from your colleagues, co-workers, your authorities and superiors. Because this Mercury is not only exalted, it is in conjunction with Sun in the 6th house. Normally the transit of Sun in the 6th house is considered very good, because it not only ensures success but also ensures good name and fame in front of the authorities and superiors. So overall, I will say this transit of Mercury and Sun and its conjunction in the 6th house is going to prove highly beneficial for all the Aries ascendant natives in the month of October. Now on 2nd of October, Venus has entered the sign of Leo in the 5th house. Normally the transit of Venus in the 5th house is considered very good, because it not only ensures joy, happiness, pleasure in the life of the native, but also it means that you will be able to spend some good time with your family, some family get together, some outings, because here Venus happens to be your second lord, and this will also allow you to explore your talent, your creativity in a more better manner. Means you can also say it or take it in this way that Venus will be aspecting your 11th house. So that means your name, your fame with regards to your creative talent will be in front of the world. This Venus is also aspected by retrograde Saturn and retrograde Jupiter. So that means more you are working upon your finances, your family matters, and you are giving proper value and taking up extra responsibility regarding your partnership and relationship, more this Venus will perform very well during this transit in the sign of Leo. Normally, the double transit of Saturn and Jupiter, whenever it aspects a common sign, it improvises the results of that sign or result of that planet. Means you can say that this is a time of realization of results. So you will be able to make up some good decisions regarding your finances, regarding your family matters. Now that should be with proper responsibility and discipline. Then only you will be able to utilize the maximum benefits of this aspect of Saturn and Jupiter. Now since Venus is aspecting your 11th house, this also indicates that your second lord Venus sitting in the 5th house aspecting the 11th house, it is forming a Dhan Yoga. And Saturn is the 11th lord itself. So Venus and Saturn, mutual aspect, creating a very powerful wealth generating yoga. So this is also a time looking into the fact that your third lord Mercury is exalted. Your third lord Mercury is conjunct with fifth lord Sun. Your second lord Venus transiting in the 5th house. So many wealth generation chances or good prospects coming on your way. Here wealth does not means that only that money part, also it means that good appreciation or a solid position at your work in front of the world. So whatever work you are doing, you will feel that you are getting that ultimate confidence. Your self-respect, your self-esteem will improve with time during this transit. And as I said that you will be able to spend some good time with your family members also. So all those things will be happening during this transit. On 3rd of October, Mars has entered the sign of Libra and it has got conjunct with Ketu. So for the initial 10 days of this transit, there can be a sense of disinterest or detachment with regards to any matter related to relationship or partnership because of that impact of Ketu, because Ketu moves backwards and Mars moves forward. So initial 10 days the impact of Ketu will be a bit more on Mars. So there can be a bit of detachment or disinterest, because looking into the fact that your 5th house has Venus and 5th lord Sun is transiting along with exalted Mercury. So you will be having a sense of more focus on your own self. And since that Lagna Lord Mars is transiting in the 7th house, so you will try to focus on the relationship and partnership part, but that influence of Ketu, in one way or the other, you may feel that okay, let it be, let me focus on the good things in life. So it may happen that for the initial 10 days or so, you may unknowingly or unwillingly not look at this relationship part, be it at the professional level or the personal level. So this can also mean that you may take some decisions which you may not take in normal sense. So suppose if you are taking any decisions regarding any kind of new collaboration or new partnership regarding your business or trade, then you should also give importance to the opinions of your partner also, because this Ketu influence can make you feel that means everything, you may feel that what you are doing correct. A sense of this type of sense will be there. But I will also say that give equal opinion, opportunity or chance to listen to your partner. That will give you a much more better results. Due to this disinterest, there can be some mutual misunderstandings also, or conflict of interest, because normally the Mars in the 7th house does not wants to compromise, and this Ketu part will also add that detachment and disinterest. So you can say that it is just like Ketu is spicing up the things. So heavy energy in the sign of Libra. Moreover, Jupiter is retrograde in the first house, so that means there can be one or more than one mistakes in your decision making with regards to partnership or relationship. Like suppose at your personal level also, at your personal life also, suppose you took some decision which is not correct or which may lead to some kind of conflict. But since Jupiter is aspecting and it is retrograde, so it may happen that you may be able to learn from your mistakes in the upcoming days and time. Okay. Now on 18th of October, Sun is transiting. Sun is moving into the sign of Libra. Again, the Libra sign is that energy of the planets is increasing. First Ketu, then Mars, then Sun on 18th of October. Now Sun is a fiery sign. Again, Sun is all about oneself. It's a free, independent energy. So this is a very important time when you should be giving equal importance to your partner. Don't hesitate to cooperate your partner and take the cooperation of your partner. There should not be any sense of ego, because there is a chance that some ego matter may come up, may show up during this transit. One more thing I will say. On 19th of October, Mercury is again changing the sign, because Mercury normally moves through a sign very fast, and that is the reason Mercury gives results very fast. It's a very fast moving planet. It will give you results in no time. On 19th of October, Mercury leaves the sign of Virgo, it enters the sign of Libra. So that means after 19th of October, it is 4 planets: Ketu, Sun, Mars and Mercury. So that will be a time any matter related to partnership or relationship has to be given very, very important stature, because there is a chance of misunderstanding, there is a chance of ego battles, or out of ego you take some decision which may create conflict or misunderstanding. Okay. Now regarding the Ketu transit and Rahu transit, I will say here one thing, that on 30th of October, mean Rahu and Ketu is transiting. Mean Rahu and Ketu means that is the mean longitude of Rahu and Ketu is leaving the sign. It is entering the sign of Pisces. That is, Rahu is transiting into Pisces and Ketu is transiting into Virgo. But if you look into the true longitude of Rahu and Ketu, then you will see that Rahu and Ketu, they will be in the initial degrees of Aries and Libra respectively, because they are not, that true Rahu and Ketu is not changing the sign in the month of October, they are changing the sign in the month of November. But suppose if you follow the rule of mean Rahu and mean Ketu, in that case till 30th of October, that means till the end of October, they will be in the sign of Aries and Libra respectively. But still I will say you that follow the true Rahu and true Ketu, that is the true nodes, that will give you much more better results. During this particular month of October, one more thing which is going to happen is that the Jupiter Rahu conjunction will intensify, because Jupiter is moving backwards now. It is moving towards the influence of Rahu. So there is a great propensity that you may get distracted out of the right path, or you may choose certain things as a life decisions which may not be correct, or there can be a sense of illusion. Now since Jupiter is the ninth lord, so it is your belief system, so you will start believing certain things which in normal sense you will not start to believe, or you will not do it. So this is a time when you need to be very focused, looking into the fact that your Lagna lord Mars is transiting along with Ketu, so there will be a sense of making wrong decisions. Okay, so this is a transit of planets where transit of Venus, Mercury, initially conjunction of Mercury and Sun very good, but after 19th of October you need to be a bit careful, specifically with regards to your own life decisions, discipline and the relationship part. That is the 1/7 axis. Rest everything is okay, rest everything I will say it's quite good. Okay, only the 1/7 axis, that is the sign of Aries and Libra concerned. So that's it for the Aries ascendant people. Make the most out of it. For the Taurus ascendant people, Venus is transiting at this moment of time in the 4th house in the sign of Leo. Venus entered Leo on 2nd of October 2023. Normally, the transit of Venus in the 4th house is considered very good because it enhances love, comforts, luxuries, happiness in the life of the native. But here we have to also look into the fact that Leo isn't a friendly sign for Venus. Moreover, Venus will be under the aspect of retrograde Jupiter and retrograde Saturn. So this indicates that being the Lagna Lord, Venus, it means that your complete concentration, focus and attention will be towards the household activities or household matters or anything related to domestic affairs. Venus is also your 6th lord, transiting in the 4th house. So this is also a time you have to be very careful regarding the health of your mother. Previously, Venus entered Leo, it got retrograded back into the sign of Cancer. Now it is again coming back into the sign of Leo. So that means any matter related to your home or household activities or domestic matters which was ignored in the past, now it is the time when you have to show your responsibility towards it and make sure that you are taking care regarding it. Why? Because the aspect of Saturn. So, be it the health of your mother, be it any matter related to your home, howsoever small it is, you have to be very careful regarding that. Venus is also the significator of conveyances, that means vehicles. Looking into the fact that on 3rd of October, Mars will enter your 6th house and get conjunct with Ketu. And your 6th lord Venus is transiting in the 4th house. So, suppose if you are maintaining a vehicle or you are driving a vehicle, then you have to be very careful regarding the maintenance of that vehicle. If certain things are not correct with your conveyances, then you have to make it correct. And don't go for rash driving. This is one important thing which I will say. Now, when you are taking extra care regarding the domestic matters and everything, this transit of Venus will be highly beneficial for you because Venus is transiting in the 4th house and your 4th lord Sun is transiting in the 5th house in conjunction with Mercury, that also exalted Mercury. So that means your 4th lord and 5th lord is conjunct together in the 5th house itself. So basically it is forming a Raj Yoga. So this is a time which is highly beneficial for any people or any person who is into studies or learning new type of things, improving this creative skill set. Or suppose in one sentence if I say that it is highly beneficial for any student, be it school or college student, Or suppose if you're learning something at the professional level also, in that case also this transit of Sun and Mercury in the fifth house will be highly beneficial to you. Yes, one thing I will say here, that this may also increase your ego. Means you may feel that, oh, I know everything. This kind of feelings can be there. Now this can lead to some kind of problems also, because our efforts, our actions, our energy, that is the Mars, will enter the 6th house on 3rd of October in conjunction with Ketu. So there can be a sense of whimsical thoughts. Why thoughts? Because Mars is the 12th lord. Now, Ketu is a headless planet. Normally, Mars in the 6th house is considered very good, because such a person is like um, always victorious in every kind of projects and ventures. Mars in 6th house is beautiful placement, but it is in conjunction with Ketu. Specifically, Ketu is a retrograde planet. It is moving backwards. Mars is marching forward. So, for the initial 10 days, this kind of sense will be there. Some kind of lethargy, some kind of laziness, or whimsical thoughts, like implying the imaginative power in multiple things and not getting the actual way out. So, all the planets, if we combine the total impact, so this kind of conclusions are coming. So this also indicates that we should be very careful regarding where and how we are channelizing our energies for next 10 days, starting from 3rd of October onwards, for all the Taurus natives. Secondly, as I said before also, that while you are driving the vehicles, you should be very careful, and this also means that while you are going out for work, or suppose you are using these staircases, in that case also make sure that you don't hurry. Keep some time in your hand, and then you should start your work, or you are going out here and there. Okay, these are the few things you should be careful about. Now Jupiter is moving towards Rahu. Jupiter is retrograde in your 12th house. Now it is not changing the sign, but it is moving towards 11th house, its own sign. And since it is retrograde, so it will give results from 11th house also, which is a good thing. So that means this is a time when you may get some sudden appreciation at your workplace, or some good name and fame with regards to your work ethics. It will also improve your social communication in front of your work, or at your personal space also. Okay. So in that regard, this Jupiter transit will be highly beneficial. Looking into the fact that in your fifth house, Sun and Mercury is transiting, they are aspecting your 11th house, and by the retrograde motion, Jupiter is also aspecting your is Jupiter is giving results from your 11th house by the retrograde motion. In that case, I will say that this is a chance that it can also improve the gains and income in your life. Or suppose if you are thinking to take some extra opportunities or chances regarding your job or job like situation, in that case also it is going to give you very good results. Saturn is retrograde, and whole of October Saturn will retrograde. In fact, it will turn direct in the first week of November. So at the workspace there can be a sense of anxiety, or there can be a sense of extra responsibility and commitment, which is good, but Saturn is aspecting your fourth house. So yes, even at you are at work, or even you are at home, there will be always a sense of responsibility regarding your workspace. Okay, and which you have to follow up. For the Taurus ascendant people, one more thing which I will add here is that on 18th of October 2023, Sun is making a transit into the sign of Libra, And on 19th of October 2023, Mercury is making a transit into the sign of Libra. Now Libra happens to be your 6th house. So after 19th of October, four planets, Ketu, Mars, Sun and Mercury, these four planets will be in your 6th house. Just like as I said before regarding Mars, that as Mars will enter the sign of Libra, it will be in conjunction with Ketu. So for the initial 10 days, there can be something related to disinterest or detachment with regards to our actions and energy, and there can be some whimsical thoughts. The similar kind of impact will be on Mercury and Sun also with regards to their own significance. Like there can be some misleading informations, or there can be some lack of logical intellect, or where to put the intelligence. That is the implementation part for the initial few days. Okay, that kind of problems may be coming because of that influence of Ketu. And with regards to Sun, I will say that there can be lack of self confidence for the initial 10 days or so, because that is what Ketu does, because Ketu makes or takes us towards inner conscience or consciousness. Okay, so this is a time when we can look into the actual things, where we are putting our efforts, which where we are putting our intelligence, what is the right thing to do and what is the things which not to be followed. This kind of thoughts can be implemented when these planets will be in conjunction with Ketu, because it may happen that haphazardly we are putting our work and efforts here and there, which is not good. But that influence of Ketu will be for the initial 10 days of these transits, I will say, because till the end of the month, if we take the transit of mean Rahu and mean Ketu, then I will say that mean Rahu and mean Ketu will be transiting on 30th of October. But if we look into the true nodes, that is the true longitude of Rahu and Ketu, then they are changing the sign on 29th of November. So in either of the case, for the month of October, Rahu and Ketu, they are not changing the sign. So this transit in the 6th house, when all the four planets will be together, we should be a bit careful for all the Taurus ascendant people with regards to our actions, our hard work and everything. Okay, starting from 19th of October onwards, that is what I will say. So that's it for the Taurus ascendant people. Gemini ascendant people, your Lagna Lord Mercury is transiting in the 4th house in the sign of Virgo, getting exalted and in conjunction with Sun. This transit of Mercury happened on 1st of October 2023, and I will say it's a very good transit right at the beginning of this month. It will ensure that you have a proper happy environment at your domestic life. It will improve your work life balance, and all your projects and work will lead to success. It will also improve the communication between you and your family members, and also allow you to put your logical and analytical intellect at your workspace. Thus it will also improve your name, fame, and you may also get appreciated for your work. So ultimately it will prove to be a very good transit. But if we talk about Sun, which is the third lord transiting in the 4th house, so there can be some kind of anxiety related to certain matters at your homely environment. So one of the best way to mitigate this is that the things which are not that important, so you may ignore it. Okay, because Sun is that hot and bright light. It will try to focus on each and everything, and that can lead to anxiety on every small matters. Although Mercury will prove to be a good manager regarding this, but still I will say that the things which are not that important, you may ignore it for the time being. On 2nd of October, one more transit which had happened, the transit of Venus which had happened in the 3rd house in the sign of Leo. This transit of Venus in the sign of Leo will improve your communication skill. It will also allow you to improve your social communications. The bonding between you and your daily contacts will also improve. So basically it will allow the beauty and creativity to mix in your day-to-day life. Whatever work you are doing, you are starting any effort or you are any kind of venture or any new initiative, or suppose you are working on some kind of projects. In whatever work you are doing in your day-to-day life, you will see that your efforts, your actions will be a mix of beauty and creativity. So this will enhance the productivity of your work. Now, since Jupiter and Saturn is aspecting your third house and aspecting Venus, so it will lead to realization of your efforts. So this is a wonderful time to start a new work or enhance your creative talent, or suppose if you are thinking to work on your hobbies, it's a wonderful time because your communication skill will allow you to link with people, specifically at the social networking platform. Now, why? Because Venus is your 12th lord and your 5th lord. So you can use your imaginative powers, your thought process, and that thought process can allow you to put your communication skills in a more profound manner. Okay. Mars on 3rd of October, it will be entering the sign of Libra, that is your 5th house. Now, as I talked about Venus, which is the 5th lord, now let me talk about the 5th house where Mars is transiting. Now, this transit of Mars in the 5th house to some extent can lead to some anxious state of mind, because 5th house is basically deals with our management, with our day-to-day inspiration and motivation. Means how we are planning our day, how we are making the things in our mind, or it also links with our creative skill set, our joy, our pleasure. Now, Mars is the 6th lord, Mars is the 11th lord, but it will be in conjunction with Ketu in the 5th house. So there can be a sense of disinterest or detachment, or some kind of lethargy on how to put our actions or our channelization of energy with regards to learning something or improving our creative skill set. So this kind of things can be there, but I will say that this will be more for the initial 10 days starting from 3rd of October, because Ketu is a retrograde planet, it will move backwards and Mars will move forward. So initial 10 days this kind of influence can be there, but after that slowly and gradually things will be much more better. Now, on 18th of October, Sun is entering your 5th house. On 19th of October, Mercury is entering your 5th house. Now, this Sun Mercury transit in the 5th house for the Gemini ascendant people, I will say that individually those are good transits, but it will be in conjunction with Mars and Ketu. So there can be again for the initial few days, means for each of the planet you can take it for the initial 10 days, you may feel that the energy of or the significance of the planet is getting a bit low because of the presence of Ketu. But after that initial 10 days, you will see that things are getting reviving. So you will be able to learn new things, you will be able to look into the matters in a more profound manner, because that is what Ketu does. Ketu will allow you to look into the things from the root, from the core of the things. So suppose you are learning something, so it will allow you to learn the things at a more spiritual level, at such an angle where you will be able to learn new things. Okay. So suppose if you are studying a new kind of subject or anything which is mystical or anything which is related to occult or spirituality, then this transits of Mars, Ketu, Sun and Mercury in the 5th house will allow you to learn it in a more nice manner, I will say. Okay. But that initial 10 days there can be some kind of detachment or disinterest or some kind of lethargy, or planning may not get realization, means you plan something but something else happens. This kind of feelings can be there. Okay, because Ketu is a headless planet basically, and Mercury is a Lagna lord, so it may happen that your plannings may not be fulfilled in the day-to-day life for the initial that 10 days after the transit of Mercury into the 5th house. Now, all these 4 planets will be under the aspect of Jupiter, but that is retrograde Jupiter. So that means initially there can be some struggle, but later on, when these planets will be far away from Ketu, that time it will be able to revive its significance and that aspect of Jupiter. So there can be some kind of mistakes initially, but later on we can learn from those mistakes, and ultimately we will be able to put those things and implement in day-to-day life, in our real life, and ultimately it will give you good results. Okay, now if we talk about Saturn is transiting in the ninth house in the retrograde mode, and this whole month Saturn will be retrograde. In the month of November, in the first week of November, Saturn will get into a direct mode, but this month I will say that we should be more into the path of righteousness, dharma, because it is in the ninth house, and most importantly it is looking onto the Venus, which is your fifth lord, and in the fifth house so many planets are there. So this is a time when we should be more focused in good karmas and righteous path, and that will give us a much more better results. Okay, so that's it for the Gemini ascendant people. For the Cancer ascendant people, on 2nd of October 2023, Venus has entered your second house. Now, Venus is a very important planet for the Cancer ascendant people. It is the fourth lord and 11th lord, transiting in the second house. So, basically, it will improve your finances. Wealth generation chances will improve. It will get enhanced during this transit of Venus. It will also improve the bonding between you and your family members. Any kind of family issues will be resolved. So overall it will set a proper energy and vibe at your family level. So during this time, suppose if you are thinking to purchase some luxurious and comfortable items for your home, or anything which is very precious, but you are thinking that yes, I need it. So this kind of purchases or expenditures are seen during this particular transit of Venus in the second house. Means anything which you value the most, or you want to possess, okay, some luxury and comfortable items for you or for your family. Okay, so it's a good transit in that way. It will make a happy mood, happy bonding. Now Venus is your fourth lord. Now, in the fourth house, at this moment of time, on 3rd of October onwards, Mars and Ketu will get conjunct in the fourth house. So, at the family level, means at the domestic level, the place where you live in, at with regards to that, there can be some kind of conflict. There can be some kind of matters which are which may make you feel a bit depressed or anxious. Okay, there can be some kind of conflict of interest between you and your the family members with whom you live in. Now, although Venus will try to make sure that things are in order, but on another level, means at your own perspective, you may feel the things which looks like good, but actually they are not that great. This kind of feeling can be there. Now, here one more thing I will add, that at this moment of time, Sun and Mercury is transiting in the third house. Mercury entered your third house on 1st of October, got exalted in the sign of Virgo in the third house. Now, this Sun and Mercury transit in the third house is a very good transit, I will say, because it will improve the communication skill. It will allow you to put hard work and efforts in a right way, right path. This exalted Mercury, so it will be allowing you to implement your logical intellect in a profound manner. So ultimately it's a good transit. It will just give you the proper confidence and proper willpower, I will say, to work on your efforts, your creative skill set, your creative talent, hobbies. Okay, but on 18th of October and on 19th of October, Sun and Mercury respectively, they are changing the sign. They are coming into the fourth house of Libra. So that time, Mars, Ketu, Sun, Mercury, these four planets will be in the sign of Libra in the fourth house. So it indicates that during that particular time, certain matters related to home or domestic environment may all of a sudden come in front of you, or you may feel that yes, these are the things which I have to resolve. Means maybe something had been happening from so long, so now those things will come in front of you and you will feel that yes, now I have to resolve it. Now that resolve part comes because of the brightness of sun and that intellect of Mercury. But since Mars and Ketu is also there, so there can be some times or some moments which you may not like, or there can be some kind of unnecessary disputes or maybe fights. Okay, so you have to work on it in a very profound manner. You have to work on it in a more intellectual way, because see, the transit of Mars will go on for next 46 days. And if we talk about the month of October, then Mercury, the transit of Mercury normally happens a bit quick, but rest all planets will be in the 4th house. Okay. So I will say that starting from 19th of October, at your home environment, certain things can elevate. You have to look into it in a more calm and composed way. Okay. Specifically with regards to mother, take care regarding the health of your mother during this particular time, because Mercury happens to be a 12th lord also. Don't forget that. Although Jupiter will be aspecting your 4th house by its 7th aspect, but Jupiter is also retrograde and Jupiter will be moving towards Rahu. Some grace of Jupiter is there, so that means even if something elevates or even if something's come upon, there will be solutions to it. But right after this transit, the initial 10 days for each of the planet you have to look upon, because that time Ketu will be more in influence. More the planets moves away from Ketu, more it is going to give you good results. Okay, so slowly and gradually when the planets will be coming up, coming far away from Ketu, more it will be giving good results. Looking into the fact that Sun will be debilitated in the 4th house. Okay, so certain family matters or certain family views, you may not like it, or you may feel unhappy regarding those things. Okay, if we talk about Saturn, then Saturn is transiting in the retrograde mode in the 8th house, and this transit, I will say that some family matters, some personal health matters, or at the work level also, you have to work hard, you have to put more responsibility and with commitment, then only it is going to give you good results. Although in the month of November Saturn will turn direct, but this month of October certain things are there which needs to be given more importance, specifically regarding your health and health choices. Okay, your food eating habits. Saturn is aspecting your 5th house by its 10th aspect, so definitely it will look onto your thoughts, your intelligence, your planning, your management. So there can be certain ups and downs. Means you plan something but something else happens. That is what this Saturn indicates. So this is also a time to have a proper balance at your means partnership life, because Saturn is your 7th lord also, and at the domestic life, because all those 4 planets will be in the 4th house: Mars, Ketu, Sun and Mercury. So that's it for the Cancer ascendant people. Make the things most out of it and in a more calm and composed manner. Okay, so that's it for the Cancer ascendant people. For the Leo ascendant people, on 2nd of October, Venus has entered your 1st house. Now, normally the transit in the 1st house for Venus is considered very good, because it improves the happiness index in the life of the person, improves luxury, comforts and creativity, a charismatic personality. You will be able to take your decisions in a more kind and soft mindset. Okay, so basically it improves the emotions and passions of a person. Venus will be aspecting your 7th lord Saturn. Now look it in this way, that Venus is aspecting your 7th lord. Although your 7th lord Saturn is retrograde, but Venus will be aspecting your 7th house, so that means it will improve your relationship, it will improve your partnership. Now that can be at the professional level also, at the personal level also. Now since Venus is aspecting your 7th house, so that means this is also a time when you may get into a relationship, or suppose you may get some opportunity to collaborate at your business partnership, because Venus happens to be your 10th lord also. So definitely it will allow you to expand your work and business. So it's a basically a good transit, I will say, for the Venus. Now since Venus will be getting aspected by Saturn, so you may also take it in this way that increased or enhanced work responsibility may come during this particular time on your shoulders. Means all of a sudden you may feel that my work has increased or my responsibility has increased. This kind of feelings can be there. Now on 1st of October 2023, Mercury has entered your second house, getting exalted in transit with Sun. Now this is a wonderful transit, I will say, for the Leo ascendant people, because Sun is the Lagna lord, Mercury is the second lord. Sun and Mercury, first and second lord, getting conjunct together in the second house, where second lord Mercury is exalted in the sign of Virgo. That is also right at the beginning of this month. So first of all, the transit of Venus, which means improvement in your work and business, and now the transit of Mercury and Sun in the second house, you see. So that means this also ensures improvement in wealth, finances, or you may get some new work opportunity which may ultimately improve your wealth and finances. So you may get some opportunity to improvise investment plans. This will also enhance the family life, your bonding, your communication skill at your domestic environment. So any family issues of the past will be resolved now. So ultimately it will enhance or set up a good environment at the family level also. This transit of Mercury and conjunction with Sun in the second house will also ensure that your food eating habits will improve. Okay, your health will improve. So basically this is a time when you may get some favors from your family members, from the elders of your family members. So ultimately it's a good transit, I will say. And this Mercury and Sun will be aspecting your 8th house also. So basically it will improve the communication skill, communication, and set up a proper bonding between you and your in-laws in case you are married. Okay, be it joint asset, be it fixed asset, in either of it you will be able to manage it in a proper manner. So ultimately I will say it's a good transit. Now on 3rd of October, Mars has entered, or means it is just preparing to enter, means on the 3rd of October, the third house, the sign of Libra, and it will be in conjunction with Ketu. Now normally the transit of Mars in the third house is normally considered very good, and when we talk about malefic planets, then means I'm talking about the natural malefic planets. Okay, means natural malefic means for the Leo ascendant people, Mars is the Yoga Karaka planet, but I'm talking about the natural malefic planets, that is Mars, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, and Sun. Okay, means at when you talk about the Naisargik Karakatva, that is the natural significance of the planets, then third house, when any malefic planet is transited over, it gives very good results. Now be it Ketu, be it any other planet, and since third house forms a part of Upachya house, so that means it gives good results with time. So initially when Mars enters the third house, it will be an influence of Ketu. For the initial 10 days you will feel that there can be a deep sense of detachment from your work, from your efforts, or you can feel that kind of laziness or lethargy, or there can be a time or moment when you may not feel good about how you are putting your efforts or how you are channelizing your energy. But after the 10 days, when Mars will move a bit far away from Ketu, that time slowly and gradually that Mars will revive its significance slowly and gradually, and then it will give you very good results. It will allow you to put proper intellect, because Mars is your 4th lord and 9th lord. A proper intellect, proper wisdom at your work in a more disciplined manner, in a more profound manner, and this will not only give you good results with regards to the transit in the third house, but also you will see that all your work efforts will lead to success. Now On 18th and 19th of October, Sun and Mercury respectively will be coming into your third house in the sign of Libra. So again, in the influence of Ketu, there can be some time when you may get into some kind of detachment or disinterest at your work, or because it is the third house and Mercury will be in close vicinity with Ketu during that time. So that is the time when you need to be very careful regarding your speech and communication, because see, Ketu is a headless planet and Mercury has a propensity to absorb the energy regarding all other planets associated with it. So moment it enters the third house, it will absorb the energy of Ketu, and there can be like a situation when you say something, you speak something in the social networking sites, and you may get into some kind of trouble. Okay, so for the initial 10 days when the transit of Sun and Mercury happens in the sign of Libra in the third house, so that will be a time when you need to be a bit careful, because Sun is the Lagna Lord and Mercury is the second Lord. So your speech, communications and your own personality all will be coming into the fact in the limelight. Okay, but after 10 days, when they will be moving a bit far away from Ketu, slowly and gradually they will revive their influence, and then it will give good results, because as I said, that third house is the Upacha house, and slowly and gradually the planets gives good results. Now Jupiter is retrograde in the 9th house and Jupiter is aspecting your third house. Okay, and 9th house where Jupiter is retrograding, it is moving towards Rahu. So here one important part is that when all those four planets, Ketu, Mars, Sun and Mercury, will be in the third house, your speech, your efforts, your work, all will be under the scrutiny, because you cannot do mistakes, and Ketu will make you feel like you can do anything, because Ketu is a headless planet basically. Okay, and Jupiter is moving towards Rahu in the 9th house, so there can be a situation where you may feel that whatever you are doing correct. Now that is a whimsical thought, I understand, but that is what the energy seems like, that it will make you feel that whatever you are doing, whatever you are saying, you are doing correct. But a realization will strike when all these planets will move a bit far away. But since Jupiter is moving towards Rahu, so there can be a ego factor where you may feel that okay, maybe I did some mistake, so what? So this kind of feeling. So I will say you that more we go into the path of righteousness, more we follow the proper wisdom, the path led by our elders, the path led by our gurus in a proper manner, that will give us very good results. So I will say you that during this particular time, don't get into any work or anything which is not meant for you or which should not be done. Okay, that will give you much more better results. So make the most out of it in that regard. And Saturn is transiting in the retrograde mode in the 7th house. It is the 6th lord and 7th lord both, and whole of this month of October Saturn will be retrograde. In fact, it will be direct in the first week of November. So this month of October, as it is retrograde in the 7th house, I will say that it will also improve the responsibility towards your partner, specifically at the personal and professional level, if you are in any kind of partnership, or suppose if you are not in any kind of relationship or partnership. In that case also I will say you that Saturn in that 7th house, it will make you feel as if all your work, all everything will be judged, will be taken into account, or people will look into it, because 7th house is the public image, mass fame. Okay, so you cannot do mistakes. And looking into the fact, the influence of Ketu and other planets in the third house, and that Jupiter Rahu connection in the 9th house, so this is a time when you need to be very careful regarding your planning, your discipline, your punctuality, because Saturn is retrograde in the 7th house and it will be looking into each and everything, this kind of things. So sometimes you may feel that people are judging you regarding your work ethics, your decision making, your planning and everything. So there can be a sense of lethargy and laziness also, or there can be a sense of moving inward. Like suppose you may feel detached from certain kind of works. You may feel like that, oh, I'm not liking it, or I'm not feeling good about it. This kind of feeling can be there, but it is just a phase. Okay, next month when Saturn will turn direct, again the things will be much more better for you. Okay, so make the things in a more profound manner, like follow the righteous path, truth, law, justice. That will give you much more better results. That's it for the Leo ascendant people. Make the most out of it. Ascendant people, on 1st of October 2023, Mercury has entered your ascendant, your first house, and got exalted, because Mercury is the ruler of your first house, the sign of Virgo, and it exalts in Virgo. So it's a very good transit, I will say, and Mercury will be in conjunction with Sun. Now, Sun happens to be a 12th lord, but normally the conjunction of Sun and Mercury in the first house is considered very good, because it allows the person to be more self confident, improved discipline, punctuality, um, enhanced decision making power. Okay, this is a wonderful time for your self development, having a independent approach at your work life, at your personal life, because work life, because Mercury is your 10th lord also. Okay, now since Sun is also your 12th lord transiting in the first house, so this also indicates that certain matters related to your health are still going on, which you need to take care of, but this Mercury will allow you to make sure that you are taking the right decisions, even though some health matters are there, those things will be resolved. Okay, now Venus has entered your 12th house on 2nd of October. Now that transit also is a good transit, because normally transit of Venus in the 12th house ensures healing. That means, suppose, now that can be at the physical level also, at the mental level also. Like suppose you are going through some kind of anxiety, or suppose certain things are creating conflict at your mental level, or maybe something related to health is going on. So Venus's transit in the 12th house will allow you to have a proper healing. It will calm you down, it will improve the comforts and luxury in your life, and ultimately it will allow you to have a peaceful subconscious mind. It will improve your sleeping schedule. It will allow you to have a proper rest after all day of work. You will, when you go to sleep, you will feel that yes, now I'm getting a proper rest. So it will ultimately, it will allow your body to heal. Now, on 3rd of October, Mars is going to enter your second house, and it is in conjunction with Ketu. So, during that particular time, there can be certain things where, or certain family related matters which may not be conducive, or you may feel certain things are creating stress and anxiety within you. There can be some hidden anger which may all of a sudden come in front. Okay, or there can be some things which are not that happy, or there can be some unusual fights between you and your family members on certain matters. So here two things I will say you, that first thing is that you must not hamper your health at the mental and physical level on any of the account. Like suppose certain thing happens and you disturb your happiness, then you won't be able to make the most out of that Mercury and Venus transit. Okay, although Mercury and that Mars and Ketu transit in the second house may initiate certain things, you may feel that now it is going, the level of water is going at certain level, that you have to act, you have to react. You may feel like that, but still I will say you that you have to maintain a proper balance, because ultimately it is the sign of Libra. The second thing, since second house is also the house of money, wealth, investment, so this Ketu and Mars, now Mars happens to be your 8th lord, and it is transiting along with Ketu in the second house. So there can be improper balance or improper management of wealth and money during this particular time. And for the initial 10 days after Mars has transited on 3rd of October, that initial 10 days, I will say it is a very crucial time. So suppose if you are thinking there is a some expenditures or spendings, make sure that you are doing the expenditures and spendings in a proper place, not here and there, because Ketu is a headless planet. It will make you do some things whimsical. Okay, means do this, do that. Later on, you may have the idea that you did something which was not meant to be done. Okay, now this Mars and Ketu can all of a sudden make your speech very rude and straightforward. Means you may feel that whatever you are saying, it is needed to say, or you need to speak about it, but the people who are listening to you, or the people who are hearing you, for them it can be like something very rude to listen about. Okay, so you have to take care regarding those things also for the transit of Mars. And looking into the fact that on 18th and 19th of October, Sun and Mercury respectively will be changing the sign. It will come out of your first house and enter your second house. So that time it will be Mars, Ketu, Sun and Mercury, all these four planets in the second house. Now, transit of Mercury in the second house here will be good, but Sun is the 12th lord, Mars is the 8th lord, and Ketu. So this also indicates that after 19th of October, certain matters which may go on in the family, or family matters which may impact your physical and subconscious mind, physical health also, and the subconscious mind. So I will say you that if certain things happens, then you have to look into the matter very closely, in a more calm and composed manner, although it will be difficult initially because the presence of Ketu. But what I can see is that for each planet take 10 days, because more the planets are far away from Ketu, more it will revive its significance, and more it will give good results slowly and gradually. So here Mercury and Sun, because Sun in the second house normally improves our morality, improves our values. Okay, and Mercury also is the Lagna lord going into the second house. It will allow you to focus more on your value system, on your finances, in a more better manner, in a profound manner, because it will allow you to be more financially independent. But initially, in the presence of Ketu, there can be some kind of wrong decisions, or you may say something which you might not say in normal sense. Okay, so initial 10 days there can be difficulty, means after the transit of the planets, like suppose for Sun it is 18th of October, so take 10 days more, and for Mercury is 19th, take more 10 days. Okay, so more it is far away from Ketu, more it is going to give you good results, although they will be receiving the aspect of Jupiter from the 8th house. But ultimately Jupiter is transiting in the 8th house in the presence of Ketu, so there will be ups and downs. There will be a feeling that you may feel that what is going to happen tomorrow, you don't know, you may feel like that. This kind of feeling can be there. Okay, so that 9 till 19th of October things will be much more better. After 19th of October, you have to look into the matters more closely, and then it is going to give you very good results, means as the planets are moving far away from Ketu with time. Okay, now Saturn is transiting in the retrograde mode in the 6th house. Now the transit of Saturn in the 6th house is considered very good, because it allows you to be more responsible, more committed and hard working, and ultimately that hard work leads to success. That is what Saturn will ensure in the 6th house transit. And since it is retrograde, so it will also make you look into the facts, or the look into the matters which was ignored in the past, and those things will be also mitigated with time. But Saturn will be aspecting Venus in the 12th house. Venus is transiting in the 12th house. From 6th house, Saturn will be aspecting Venus. So certain things you have to take care regarding your health, like Venus rules the water element. Okay, so you have to improve the water intake during this particular time, looking into the fact that in your second house, Sun, Mars, Mercury and Ketu will be transiting. So improve your water intake during this particular time. Try to have a proper rest after whole day of work. That will ensure a proper health and mind, because certain things may happen when you may feel that what to do next. This kind of feelings can be there, but as I said, that as the planet moves far away from Ketu, things will be much more better. So that's it for the Virgo ascendant people. For the Libra ascendant people, today on 3rd of October 2023, Mars has made a transit into the first house in the sign of Libra for the Libra ascendant natives. Here Mars got into conjunction with Ketu, and this transit is a very important transit, because Transit of Mars in the first house normally makes a person self dependent. It gives a boost of energy. You will be able to focus on your life goals, your decision making, and your day to day life discipline and punctuality. Normally, this happens, but due to this Ketu, initially there can be, means the initial 10 days starting from 3rd of October onwards, there can be a feeling like how to channelize the energy, because Ketu will make the energy of Mars a bit more disinterested or detached towards the implementation or application of actions, efforts, and energy. So this is a time that although you will feel energetic, so initially next 10 days or so, as Mars is moving closer to Ketu, and since Ketu moves backward and Mars will move forward, so the initial 10 days, basically this kind of feeling will be there. As Mars moves more ahead in its journey, this through this transit in the sign of Libra, it will regain its significance and it will try to give you good results in the upcoming days. But the initial 10 days, there can be a feeling that you may suddenly feel that boost of energy, but there can be a sense of anxiety also, that how to exercise or how to put the efforts in correct order, in correct manner. Okay, it is because of that Ketu. Because Ketu is a headless planet, so it can make us do certain things which may have or may not have any kind of meaning to it. Okay, so since Mars is energy, so this kind of feelings can be more with us. Now, Mars rules your second house and your seventh house. So, as a ruler of second house, it is transiting in the first house. So, this is a time when it will imply that all of a sudden there can be a gain of wealth, or all of a sudden there can be a chance when you can plan your finances or make some investment plans. All of a sudden it is because of that Ketu energy. But since Ketu is there, here one more thing I will say you, that until and unless you are sure about certain things, you must wait for next 10 days and then only take any decision regarding your finances or anything related to family matters. Okay. Now, this transit of Mars over the first house, it is the second lord. So this also indicates that change in food eating style or lifestyle. Okay, there can be some significant issues related to family, which may all of a sudden come on your responsibility, some family responsibility, or some family related things which may come on your path, which you need to carry forward. But because of that Ketu, you may feel that you may feel a bit detached, but still that those responsibilities may come in front of you, so you have to look into it in a more calm and composed manner. Since Mars is a fiery planet, it may increase the anxiety or some to some extent the anger. So you have to have a proper control over it, because Mars will be aspecting your seventh house and your fourth house. Seventh house is the partnership, relationship, and fourth house is basically your happiness, your mother. Okay. So even if suppose if you are not in a relationship, in that case also I will say that seventh house is public image, the masses. So don't get into anything like unnecessary fights or unnecessary arguments, because ultimately it will impact the anxiety levels. Correct. Now on 1st of October, one more transit which had happened, that is the transit of Venus, has entered your 11th house, and I will consider it a very good transit because Venus is the first lord transiting in the 11th house. So, normally, Venus in 11th house transit is all welcome, very good, very nice transit, I will say. And it is receiving the aspect of Jupiter and Saturn, and Jupiter's aspect on the 11th house is normally considered very good. Presence of Venus in the 11th house is considered very good, because this also indicates that now with your hard work, with your proper channelization of your creativity, your creative talent, because just opposite to 11th house we have the 5th house, where 5th lord Saturn is transiting in the retrograde mode. So this also indicates that with your hard work, with your proper sense of responsibility and commitment, this ensures that you will be able to achieve the goals in your life, and this will also improve the finances during this particular month of October, or it can open new ways of having income or wealth generation in your life. During this particular month you can work hard and you can ultimately get the result in the most beautiful manner. Now on 2nd of October, apart from the Venus transit, just prior to it, on 1st of October, we had the transit of Mercury. Mercury left your 11th house and it entered your 12th house, got exalted in the presence of Sun. Now, Mercury rules your 9th house and your 12th house. 9th Lord getting exalted, normally it is a very good transit, I will say. Although it is in the 12th house, but still Mercury is exalted over there. Normally, in normal sense, I'm talking, Mercury's transit in the 12th house is not considered good. But here, Mercury is the 12th lord itself. Mercury is the 9th lord itself. It is getting exalted in the 12th house. So, in one way or the other, it is going to give you good results. Only one thing here, one important part here, I will say that Mercury is the 9th lord. So, it is the planet which rules over your belief system. So, on certain matters, there can be a stubborn behavior. You may have that stubborn behavior. Okay, means you may feel that that this is correct. This kind of feelings can be there, but overall, the transit of Mercury will be good, because it will help you to have a proper healing. Because for the Libra ascendant people, Mercury is a functional benefic, and this transit, it will allow you to have a proper healing, proper rest, um, a good comfort, a proper channelization of thoughts at the subconscious level. So this is a very good transit of Mercury, and you will see that you will be able to learn new things regarding spirituality, religious text. And normally in the 12th house, Mercury have a dilemma regarding the logical and analytical intellect and its application. But here, since it is in exalted state, so it will allow you to have a proper learning regarding spirituality, occult, or religious sciences, or even mystical sciences. Okay, you maybe have the grace to meet your guru or meet certain peoples of religious communities and have a that blessing of knowledge from them. It's a wonderful transit, I was in that case. Now on 18th and 19th of October, Sun and Mercury, they are respectively changing the sign. They are coming onto your first house. Now, Sun is the 11th lord and Mercury is the 9th lord. 11th lord and 9th lord, they are transiting in the first house. That is considered good. But here Sun will be debilitated, but you don't need to worry, because Mars is also transiting in the first house in the sign of Libra. So, although Sun will be debilitated in the first house, but Mars will create the Nij Bhang. That means cancellation of debilitation. So, ultimately, that result will be good. Now, yes, Ketu is there. So, for the initial 10 days, as I said before, also, that initially there can be a whimsical thoughts regarding how to use the energy, how to use the intellect, or how to use the uh, good discipline, punctuality, and have a proper decision making because of that Ketu. Because Ketu will impact the significance of that planet with regards to something related to detachment, disinterest. But you don't need to worry, because more the planet will move away from Ketu, more it will come into its significance and more it is going to give you good results. So overall, if I say that initially there can be some restriction, but later on they will uh, continue to give you good results. Okay. Now, Jupiter is retrograde in your seventh house, and during all this time, specifically after 19th of October, Jupiter will be aspecting all these four planets, that is Mars, Ketu, Sun, and Mercury in your first house, and Jupiter transiting in the seventh house. It is moving towards Rahu. Since it is impacting the first house by its seventh aspect, and first lord Venus by its fifth aspect, and it is moving towards Rahu, so this is also a time when you have to have a proper channelization of your wisdom and knowledge towards truth, righteousness, justice, because very essential that Jupiter is the significator of dharma, belief system, ninth house. Jupiter, uh, since it is the significator of ninth house, and ninth house also deals with law, philosophy, basically the higher spiritual knowledge. So you need to have a proper work on this particular things regarding this transit. Otherwise, I will say overall this transit is good. But since Jupiter is moving towards Rahu, so there can be a time when you may deviate or distract from your actual path. You may feel that because all these planets will moving around Ketu, you see, and Ketu has no head; it is a headless planet. So you may think something which may not be correct, or you may do something which may be whimsical. Like suppose one easy example I will give you, that Mars is the seventh lord, and seventh lord Mars transiting along with Ketu. So during this particular time you may get some relationship proposal or some partnership proposal, but since it is along with Ketu, so without any proper judgment, you may say yes, and later on you may feel that, oh, I did some wrong decision. So until and unless you are completely sure about the decisions and everything, you should not go ahead. Specifically, uh, the next 10 days of the transit, like for Mars it is 3rd of October and plus 10 days. For Sun and Mercury it will be like on 18th and 19th of October respectively, and plus 10 days. So more they are far away from Ketu, more they are reviving its significance, and it will give you good results. Okay. Because Saturn is also impacting your seventh house, where Jupiter and Rahu is transiting. Saturn will be aspecting by its third aspect. So to some extent, it will restrict the influence of Rahu, which is a good thing, a blessing in disguise. But still, I will say that Ketu, the influence of Ketu will be there. So that initial 10 days factor, and then later on things will be much more better. Okay, so that's it for the Libra ascendant people. Try to make the most out of it. For the Scorpio ascendant people, your Lagna Lord Mars is transiting in the 12th house in conjunction with Ketu, and the transit is happening today on 3rd of October 2023. Normally, the transit of Lagna Lord in the 12th house is not considered that great, because it ensures that due to our own um, lack of focus or attention, we may get into some kind of problems. Now, that can be at the mental level, or that can be at the physical level also. But since Mars is transiting along with Ketu, and Ketu is a headless planet, so our actions, our day-to-day life planning, our decision making uh, may take us into a path which is not meant to be taken. Like suppose here Mars is energy and Mars is your first lord. That means you, your personality, your decision making is transiting with headless Ketu. That means you take some decision without knowing the consequence, or you do something without knowing what is going to happen next. So this kind of feelings, this kind of influence. So this will be more around the next 10 days starting from today, because Ketu moves backward, Mars moves forward. So the initial 10 days is very important, when you need to be highly careful regarding your health and your decision making. Like Mars is a very important planet for you. So suppose you started to do some work, and later on you felt that, oh, I should not have done so, or I shouldn't have left the other work and moved into it. Okay, so this kind of feelings. Another thing is that Mars will be aspecting your third house by its fourth aspect. So third house is basically communication and short travels. So due to the influence of Ketu, there can be a possibility that you say something at socially at the social networking sites, or suppose you communicate something in a very rude manner, because Mars is a fiery planet, or something which you should not have said so, because later on you may feel that, oh, uh, it could have been handled in a more better or matured manner. Short travels, because 12th house is wandering and it is aspecting the third house of short travels. So without you are sure about certain things, you should not plan short travels now. That's what I will say, because this can lead to unnecessary wanderings, and you may feel that it is creating lots of problems. And during this particular time, at least for next 10 days, you should be highly careful regarding your health, and any important decisions regarding your health, or that can be physical or mental health, whatever it is, means, because 12th house is subconscious mind, so there can be lack of sleep also. Okay, so health related matters has to be given topmost priority, and any decision making should be done only with wise thoughts and knowledge. Okay, on 1st of October, Mercury has come to your 11th house and got conjunct with Sun in the sign of Virgo, and it got exalted. Okay, now transit of Mercury in the exalted state in the 11th house is normally considered good, because this will not only improve your intellect but also give you a proper channelization of thoughts regarding how to communicate with your network circle, and how to proceed with your work management regarding in whatever project you are working, or suppose if you are working in a team, in that case also it is going to give you very good results. Suppose if you are associated with any work related to wealth management, finance, marketing, or mass media, or suppose a work where you need to talk a lot, or speak a lot, or interact with people a lot, or write so many things, in that case also this transit of Mercury is going to give you very good results, and ultimately it is also it will help you to open some pathways of income generation during this particular transit. Although transit of Mercury happens to be in a very small span of time, but it gives results very quick. Okay, on 2nd of October, Venus has transited into a 10th house. Now, previously Venus entered your 10th house, got retrograded back into 9th house, then again it is coming back to your 10th house now. Normally, the transit of Venus in the 10th house is considered good, because it improves the work environment, it improves your um, love, beauty, creativity towards your work ethics, towards your working methodologies. So this is also a time when you will be able to make the things much more better, brighter, and more beautiful at your work. You will be able to communicate with your authorities or your superiors in a much more better manner. Now, Venus is your seventh lord. Now, seventh lord transiting in the 10th house of mass fame or public image. So that means this is also a time that you will be able to achieve certain things in your life, or you may get the encouragement regarding your work and your day to day lifestyle, your karma, and your career from your partner. Now, that can be at the professional level, or that can be at the personal level also. It is the seventh lord transiting in the 10th house, so that means you may also able to get some favors from your employer. So, so many good things can be seen. Although, yes, Venus will be under the impact of retrograde Saturn and retrograde Jupiter by their mutual aspect. So there will be a sense of responsibility of work also towards your workspace, and Venus happens to be a 12th lord. So there can be a possibility that you may get some work, or you are working on certain things in a isolated environment, or completely in solely you are working on certain things, or you are the sole manager. Okay, this kind of feelings can be there, or you may feel that I have to do so many things alone, I'm not getting any help or support. Okay, now on 18th and 19th of October, the transit of Sun and Mercury respectively is happening to your 12th house. They are coming out of your 11th house and they will be moving into your 12th house. Now that transit has to be taken care of, because in your 12th house you will be having Sun, Mercury, Mars and Ketu. Now Mercury's transit in the 12th house, normally I will say it is not that great. Specifically it will be under the influence of Mars and Ketu. So first of all, it may make your communication or your speech a bit more harsh or rude. Okay, there can be some hidden anger because of this transit, because Mercury is speech and intellect, and Mars is fiery, and Ketu has some mystical certain energies. Okay, Sun will be transiting in the 12th house in presence of Ketu. So initially there can be a lack of energy, or you may feel a bit more lazy or lethargic towards your day-to-day life. I will say during this particular time, practicing yoga, meditation is a very good way of applying the energies of planets during this transit in the 12th house, specifically after 19th of October. Okay. Now, looking into the fact that Jupiter, which is your second lord and fifth lord, transiting in the sixth house, and it is moving towards Rahu. So, certain matters related to your family or wealth or your possessions, your value system, you may not be happy about it, or you may feel that certain things are there which are not working as it should be. So, you will have a feeling that let me try this, let me do that, this kind of feeling. And this will be more because Mars is transiting in 12th house along with Ketu. Whimsical thoughts, because Ketu will make you feel like that, do this, do that. Okay, so there can be some expenditures and spendings. So until and unless you are sure about those expenditures, you should avoid it. And also you need to take care regarding your health, because otherwise some health related expenditures are seen during this particular month of October. Jupiter is also your fifth lord. So during this particular time, you may all of a sudden, it is retrograding in the sixth house. So this is a time when you can learn new things, more innovative ideas, and apply your smart work rather than more than hard work. Okay, and suppose if you have child, if you have children, then this transit of Jupiter in the sixth house moving towards Rahu, I will say that it is not that great transit with regards to children and child, because it also indicates that either you have to take care regarding the health of your children, or mm, certain things regarding your children or your child you may not be happy about it, or that can lead to some kind of anxiety or tension within you, because just opposite to 6th house is 12th house where Mars is transiting, which is the Lagna Lord. So you may be a bit in a tensed or anxious way of living during this transit of Jupiter in the retrograde mode in the 6th house towards Rahu. Okay. If we talk about Saturn, Saturn is moving in the 4th house, it is in the retrograde mode. So certain responsibility towards your home or homely environment, or regarding the people who are living along with you at your homely environment, will be there. And no matter whatsoever work you are doing at your home, or whatever responsibilities you have, howsoever small it is, give proper attention to it, don't ignore it if certain things requires your attention during this particular time. Okay. Saturn is transiting in its own sign Aquarius, so ultimately it is going to give you very good results. Even if certain things are getting delayed, but you don't need to worry, because since Saturn is transiting in its own sign, so one way or the other, it is definitely going to give you very good results in the upcoming days and months. So next month, on in the first week of November, when Saturn turns direct, slowly and gradually things will be proceeding in a better manner, in a better way, and then you will see that results are coming in a good way. So that's it for this Scorpio ascendant people. Make the most out of it. For the Sagittarius ascendant people, your Lagna Lord Jupiter is retrograde at this moment of time in the fifth house, and it is moving towards Rahu. Now, suppose if you are a student, then there can be a moment when you may feel distracted. In fact, other things which are related to technology or innovation, those things will appeal more interest towards you rather than the traditional or cultural way of getting education or knowledge or wisdom. So this is a time when you need to have a proper management of time, because you may feel that the time is getting mismanaged during this particular time, specifically in this month of October. Why so? Because your fifth lord happens to be Mars. Today, on 3rd of October, as I'm making this content, Mars is transiting the sign of Libra, just opposite to 5th house in the 11th house, and it is in conjunction with Ketu. Now, Ketu here will ensure some kind of detachment or disinterest towards the significations of your 5th house and Mars. So there can be disinterest towards how you are preparing yourself to learn the new creative skill set, or how you are improvising your day-to-day life planning, your management, your motivation and your inspiration. And this will be more for the initial 10 days of this transit, because Ketu moves in a retrograde motion, it moves backward, and Mars will move forward. So for the initial 10 days, this kind of feeling will be there. And as I said that Jupiter in the 5th house is moving towards Rahu, so there will be a sense of illusion, distraction or deviation from the original path of motivating yourself in a right path and following the proper education and proper mode of gaining the wisdom. See, if I talk about Jupiter in the 5th house transit, it is good. But since it is in Rahu's influence and it is moving towards Rahu, so this kind of feeling can be there. If you are associated with something related to technology, innovative work, or scientific research, in that case, this transit of Jupiter is going to give you very good results. Otherwise, suppose if you are associated with any study related to the mainstream studies, culture, tradition, or suppose you are just thinking to work on your education, then you might get some kind of deviation or distraction during this particular time. Now, since Jupiter happens to be your fourth lord, also in that case, also I will say that with regards to your home or homely matter, you need to be very careful regarding how you are managing those things, because Jupiter will be under the impact of Saturn and also under the aspect of Mars. So it is your health and it is house or house like environment where you need to be a bit careful about, because certain things at your home you may not like, or there can be like certain events where some arguments or conflict of interest may happen, or you may feel that the feel good factor is deteriorating. This kind of feeling can be there, because Jupiter rules your first house and fourth house, and Jupiter is under the impact of this Mars, Saturn, and Rahu. Now, as I said that Mars on 3rd of October has moved on to your 11th house. Now, 11th house is also the house of network circle. Now, normally transit of Mars in the 11th house is considered very good, and 11th house is also a part of Upachya houses. That means which grows with time, and normally malefic planets, they perform very good in the 11th houses. Here, by malefic planet, I mean to say natural malefic planets. Now, Mars is a natural malefic planet, Ketu is a natural malefic planet. So, I will say that with time they give good results. So initially there can be a disinterest or detachment, but you will see that after 10 days, when Mars will be a bit ahead of Ketu, it will more go ahead of Ketu in the more consecutive days. So the influence of Ketu over Mars will diminish, and that is the time when Mars will revive its own significations, and then it will start giving you good results. So initially there can be a disinterest in your teamwork, in your project work. Suppose you are working in a team, or you are working with something related to your network circle or in a group. So there can be a disinterest at your work initially, but after 10 days, when Mars will move a bit ahead of Ketu, that will be a time slowly and gradually you will revive that energy within yourself, and that will be a time when Mars will start giving you good results of the 11th house. Normally Mars in the 11th house gives us good results with respect to our work, with respect to our how we channelize our energy, but that is the initial part when you need to be a bit careful. On 1st of October, Mercury has changed the sign. It has entered your 10th house and got exalted in the sign of Virgo. Mercury happens to be your 7th lord and 10th lord. This exaltation of Mercury in the 10th house also it means that um, you might get some good cooperation from your partner. Now that can be at the personal level or at the professional level, and that can lead to have a good name, fame, and appreciation from your authorities and superiors. Another thing here I will say is that 7th house is also the house of favors from the employer, and your 7th lord is exalted in the 10th house at your work, at your work environment. So it also means that you might get some favors from your employer, or you will be able to communicate with them in a much more better manner, more easier way. And it also signifies that suppose certain things are there which you need to communicate, you need to talk with your superiors, but you were unable to in the past. Now you might get some good opportunity, and that will be ultimately helping you out in order to settle down your work in a much more better way. Mercury will be transiting along with Sun, and this Sun Mercury transit together, this conjunction in the 10th house will be highly beneficial, because Sun is the ninth lord and Mercury is the 10th lord, and they both are conjunct together in the 10th house, so it is creating a very powerful Raj Yoga. So this Raj Yoga is a like the biggest of the biggest opportunity. So this is a time when you can uh, do proper planning, proper hard work related to how to implement your work, your study, your education, or whatever projects you are working on in next 2 to 3 weeks, because Mercury moves very fast. On 18th and 19th of October, respectively, Sun and Mercury will change the sign. They will move on to your 11th house. Now, Sun and Mercury transit onto the 11th house is also considered very good, because Sun is the vitality, Sun is the ultimate force of health. Basically, it signifies the first house, our health, our vitality. So, in the 11th house and in the 10th house, also both, it improves the health. Okay, and Mercury in the 11th house normally is wonderful. It gives us very good results, specifically if you are associated with any work related to finance or wealth management or trading, or it can be like reading, writing, journalism, mass media, social networking. Or suppose if you are working in a place where you need to work in a group, you are working in a team, you need to speak a lot, you need to talk with many people in either of the cases, or you are a writer. So in today's day and world, there are so many things associated with Mercury, correct? So in all those genre, you will see that this transit of Mercury in the 11th house after 19th of October, it is going to give you good results. And transit of Sun in the 11th house is also going to give you good results with respect to your health, your name, fame, reputation, recognition, everything will be good. But that transit of Ketu. So that means initially when all these planets are moving towards Ketu, the after the transit initial 10 days, you might feel or you might sense the disinterest or detachment with respect to the significations related to the planet. So if it is Mercury, it can happen that some mm, some wrong communication or miscommunication with your network circle, because Ketu is a headless planet. It does not know what it does. Okay. And sun is the vitality, sun is our confidence, sun is our self-esteem. So at your network place or at your network circle, when you are associated with a group of people, you might face a sense of diminished self-confidence initially for the next 10 days after the transit. But as soon as the planets moves ahead of Ketu, means away from Ketu, ahead means here away from Ketu, that is in the next 10 days just after the transit, because for Mars it is 3rd of October, more 10 days you can take. For Sun and Mercury it is 18th and 19th of October respectively, and more 10 days you can take. Why more 10 days? Because in that 10 days Ketu moves backward and these planets will move forward. So it will go far ahead of Ketu and ultimately it will start giving you good results. Okay, because planets in 11th house normally gives very good results, because 11th house is the house of fulfillment of desires. Now since Ketu is the planet of detachment, it is the planet of spirituality, and also it shows disinterest in certain things, then that is the reason some dilemma can be there, that how to proceed and how to act upon with regards to our decision making, discipline, our intellect, energy. Okay, because all these planets, sun, Mercury and Mars, okay, looking into the fact that Jupiter is aspecting them. Now as you go through those 10 days, and then you will see that you are reviving the energy of the planets and Jupiter aspect is impacting it, then you will see that the results will be on your favor as the days goes by. Okay, so you have to just make the most out of it during that particular time. Now on 2nd of October, Mercury, means I talked about Mercury and Mars. Now on 2nd of October, Venus changed the sign. Venus entered your 9th house. Now Venus came out of your 8th house, and it is a good transit for Venus to be in the 9th house, because normally the transit of Venus in the 9th house is considered very good. Looking into the fact that Venus is your 11th lord. 11th lord transiting in the 9th house is considered very good, because it means that your fulfillment of desires, your gains, and your luck, fortune, and prosperity is going hand in hand. Yes, that Ketu factor is there in the 11th house, but still I will say that this transit of Venus in the 9th house is considered very good for you, because it will not only improve your luck, fortune, and prosperity, but also it will be good for your learning, for your education, for um, improve the bonding between you and your father and elders of your family. You will be able to have some travels and move to some spiritual places or meet your guru, okay, or have some religious discourses. This Venus will aspect your 3rd house and 3rd lord Saturn. 3rd house is our efforts, our courage, our willpower and actions. Basically 3rd house associates with Purusarth. That means uh, our willpower, our bravery, our valor at the realistic level. So this Venus will activate the beauty and creativity in our hobbies, in our creative talent, our actions and efforts in whatever work you are doing. See, I know that the influence of Rahu and Ketu is there, but still, this Venus will be a very important planet which will be impacting the 9th house and 3rd house. So ultimately, it is going to give you very good results. So I will say that overall, the transits are looking quite good for the Sagittarius ascendant people in the month of October. Make the most out of it. Okay. The Capricorn ascendant people. In your 4th house, Jupiter is retrograding and it is moving towards Rahu. So there can be a sense of illusion or deviation towards the responsibility, towards the righteousness with regards to your home or homely environment. This is more important to understand, because your 4th lord is Mars, which has entered the sign of Libra in your 10th house today on 3rd of October 2023, and it got conjunct with Ketu. Now 10th house is our karma. 10th house is our the actions, the hard work, the karma towards your 4th house, that is your home, your happiness, your peace of mind, the people with whom you are living at your work, at your domestic space, your mother, your responsibility towards your mother. Now Ketu is detachment, Ketu is disinterest. So on certain matters you may have all of a sudden the detachment or disinterest towards the responsibility towards your home or homely environment. It is because of that influence of Ketu. Means you may feel that certain things have happened now, that those things, those events is creating the detachment within you. Now during all these things you also need to be very careful regarding your own personal responsibility and dharma, what your righteousness towards your home, towards your homely environment, your mother, and your bonding with your mother. You have to work on those things. Now Ketu moves backward and Rahu Mars will move forward. So initially, for the initial 10 days starting from today onwards, that is 3rd of October, there can be the sense of detachment and disinterest more, because Mars is also energy, actions, and Ketu is a headless planet. And 10th house where this transit is happening, that Mars and Ketu, is the house of karma. So that means there can be like some you may channelize your energy or your efforts, your actions in those areas of your life which you may not have thought about. Or there can be like you are whimsically doing something but you are not knowing that what is the consequence, or what it can happen, what it can lead to. Okay, so that influence or that feeling will be till next 10 days, when after that, when Mars will move a bit more away from Ketu, then slowly and gradually the energy or the significance of the planet Mars will revive, and then it will start giving you good results. But I will also say that it is also the house of career, job, your hard work, your karma. That means at your workplace also you need to be very careful regarding your work. Means there can be a significant chance of doing mistake, or you may feel that I have done the right thing but ultimately that was a grave mistake. Okay, so you have to work on those things also, because until and unless you make sure that everything is correct, uh, everything should be looked upon very cautiously, because that's how Ketu plays the role. Okay, Ketu is a headless planet. Okay. Now Mars is energy, so that can increase the anxiety, because you may feel that how and where to make the step. Um, there can be a sense of confusion and dilemma. Means you may feel that I'm not sure about it and I have to work on it. Okay, this kind of feeling. So that can lead to some anxiety, because Mars will be impacting your 4th house of peace of mind and happiness, your mental security, and your 1st house of your personality. So make sure that you don't get into any kind of unnecessary conflict with your co-worker or your superiors and all this. On 1st of October, Mercury entered your 9th house and got exalted. It is in conjunction with Sun at this moment of time. Now, this transit of Sun and Mercury in the 9th house, I will say it's a very good transit, because Mercury is the ninth lord itself. It got exalted in its own sign, Virgo, in the 9th house. So, basically, it is a time of learning, reviving your higher spiritual knowledge, getting some proper wisdom, maintaining a proper balance of bonding between you and your father, your elders of your family, and also have a proper chance to meet your guru, follow the ideals and principles of your elders, your father, and your guru. Okay, there is a chance of starting some new education that is related to philosophy or any kind of higher education, law, because 9th house is also law. Some spiritual discourses can be there. This Sun and Mercury will be looking onto your 3rd house, so there can be improved communication. You will be able to implement and apply your logical and analytical intellect in a far more better way. Whatever project or work you are doing, or suppose if you are taking some new initiative with regards to your work. In that case also, this transit of Mercury and Sun in the ninth house aspecting the third house will give you very good results. Means you can say that in one word, you will be able to work on your creative talent, your hobbies, your projects, and your all kind of ventures in a more proper manner. Although in the 10th house you have Mars and Ketu, but still I will say that means at your personal level you will be able to do much more better. Okay. On 2nd of October, Venus entered your 8th house, and normally the transit of Venus in the 8th house is considered good because it enhances the bonding between you and your partner in a more loving, kind, and passionate manner. Okay, but here I will say that Venus will be under the influence of Saturn and Jupiter. So this also comes with huge responsibility also, that you will see that you will be able to, or you will be likely more um, you have to take the responsibility or commitment towards the relationship or relationship like matters. Now that can be at the partnership level also, means at the professional or personal level. You have to look into the fact or into the matter in a more precise manner, and ultimately it will give you good results. Okay. Now, suppose if you are not in any kind of relationship or partnership, in that case, I will say that this transit of Venus into the 8th house, normally it is considered good because this Venus will be aspecting your second house, your second lord Saturn. So it will improve the bonding between you and your family members. You will be able to take good decisions regarding your wealth or your wealth like matters. Means there can be some expenditures because of the aspect of Venus, but ultimately it will give you good results because it is impacting the second house and second lord. uh, it will improve your food eating habits. Okay. The bonding between you and your family members, and ultimately it is going to give you good results. Now, suppose if you are in a relationship, and 8th house is also the house of in-laws, so this Venus also ensures that there will be some responsibility towards your in-laws or any matter related to marriage or relationship or partners. That can be related to something related to joint asset also, or the joint responsibility also. All of those will be means it will lead to good results, but with some added responsibility and commitment. Now, on 18th and 19th of October onwards, Sun and Mercury, they are respectively changing the sign. They are moving out from your ninth house, and it will be entering in your 10th house. That means from 18th and 19th of October, Sun and Mercury respectively, they are entering your 10th house. They will get conjunct with Mars, Ketu. So there are four planets: Mars, Ketu, Sun, Mercury, 19th of October onwards in your 10th house. Now, Sun and Mercury in the 10th house, normally they perform very well, they give you very good results, they improve your name, fame, reputation, your appreciation from your superiors and authorities. But since they will be in conjunction with Ketu, so initially there can be a sense of disinterest, disagreement, or detachment towards your work, towards the work ethics, or you may also say that the rules laid down by your superiors or authorities, you may show a sense of disagreement or disinterest towards it. But that will be for the initial 10 days only, right after the transit. Because starting from 18th and 19th of October, when the transit actually happened for Sun and Mercury respectively, count more 10 days, because in that 10 days the Sun and Mercury will move far away from Ketu. More they are away from Ketu, more they will easily revive their significance, and they will try to give you results slowly and gradually. Okay, more they are far away from Ketu. So initially that 10 days, these kind of feelings can be there, where you may show some disinterest, or there can be a sense of like lack of confidence at your workspace, because Sun is confidence and Ketu is detachment. Ketu is basically having no head. So whimsically you are working on something, or whimsically you are just wasting time. Okay. Or you may feel that you are unable to manage certain things, plan certain things, because when you're talking about management and planning, that has something to do with the first house and fifth house. Now your first lord Saturn is transiting in the second house in the retrograde motion, getting aspected by your fifth lord Venus. Okay, but Your fifth lord Venus is transiting in the eighth house. So that means you will be able to plan the things, but initially there can be a struggle, there can be some ups and downs. You may feel that I plan certain things but something else is happening. Okay, so that's it for the Capricorn ascendant people. Certain things are good, certain things has to be worked upon, and then ultimately it will give you good results. Make the most out of it for the Capricorn ascendant people. Aquarius ascendant people, Saturn is retrograding in your first house, and it is definitely improving your discipline, your responsibility at your day-to-day life. And since it is in the retrograde motion, so and it is aspecting your 10th house, so it is also creating a new opportunity at your workspace, specifically if you are moving to some faraway place, or you may get some opportunity of work with regards to some faraway place or foreign place. Now, this also means that you will be able to expand your work or business, not only at the native place but also at the faraway places also, or you may get connected with some foreign clients, because Saturn also rules your 12th house. Now, this will be more evident because on 2nd of October 2023, Venus, which is your ninth lord, is transiting on your 7th house. And this also means that a chance of collaboration, a chance of new partnership or expansion of your work and business. Okay. Suppose if you are not in a relationship, then this particular transit of Venus in the 7th house on 2nd of October onwards, you may have the opportunity to get into a relationship, or you may have the opportunity to get into a new collaboration or partnership. Okay. Suppose if you are already in a relationship or a partnership, then this transit of Venus will improve it. It will ensure more kind and lovable bonding between you and your partner. Suppose if it is at the professional level, then it will improve the trust, loyalty, and faith towards you and your partner. And at the personal level, it will improve the love and compassion. Now, another thing here is that suppose if you are not in any kind of relationship or partnership, in that case, 7th house is also the house of public image, mass fame, foreign lands, 7th house. And Venus is the ninth lord, so that means long distance travel. It is also your 4th lord. So suppose if you are planning to move away or planning to go to some faraway place, in that case, this transit of Venus in the 7th house is going to give you very good results. Or it may also happen that if you are searching for a new house or new place to stay at some faraway place, then this transit of Venus in the 7th house is going to play a crucial role and help you out with that regards. Okay. On 1st of October, Mercury got exalted in your 8th house in the sign of Virgo. It transited into the 8th house on 1st of October, and it got conjunct with Sun. Now, normally the transit of Sun in the 8th house is not considered that great, because Sun is the universal significator of soul, and 8th house is basically the house of that ups and downs, sudden transformation. Basically, it is the dark hole, that is the 8th house. So, the transit of Sun in the 8th house is not considered that great, because it creates unnecessary anxiety, stress, or insecurity sometimes. Or you may feel that whatever work you are doing, you are getting fear that can it lead to some kind of wrong name or fame. Okay, so you have to follow the proper justice, righteousness, law, and truth during this particular transit of Sun. Now, since Mercury entered your 8th house and got exalted, so that means this will not only enhance the health of the individual, but also allow you to have a proper bonding between you and your partner, specifically at the relationship and partnership level. Looking into the fact that Venus is transiting in the 7th house. So I will say that as compared to the previous months, this month with regards to relationship, partnership, and the conjugal life is a very good time period for the Aquarius ascendant people. Although Sun is transiting also in the 8th house, but that exaltation of Mercury will give you much more better results. It will also allow you to have a proper way of thinking towards or managing your joint asset or fixed asset. Mercury will be impacting your second house. It will improve your speech, your bonding with your family members, and you will be able to manage your wealth also in a proper manner. On 3rd of October, the transit of Mars happened into your 9th house and it got conjunct with Ketu in the sign of Libra. Now, Mars happens to be your 10th lord and your 3rd lord. Now, normally the transit of 10th lord in the 9th house is considered good because 10th house is the house of karma and 9th house is basically dharma. So that means now you will be able to learn new things with regards to your work, or you will be able to work with proper ethics, proper discipline, wisdom, and higher spiritual knowledge. So in that regard, it is going to give you very good results. But since it is along with Ketu, so basically it will make you a bit more spiritual, and at times you may feel that you are going to some far away place, some long distance travels with regards to your work, but at the same time there can be a sense of detachment and disinterest also. Means when you join the work or when you start the work, there can be a sense of detachment or disinterest for the initial few days, because Mars will move forward, Ketu will move backward. So for the initial 10 days, this kind of feeling can be there. There can be a sense of lethargy and laziness also, I will say. Now, 9th house is also optimism, but Ketu is basically detachment. So you may feel that okay, everything is all right. Means it can be a feeling when you may be a bit more down to earth, but at the same time you will feel later on that you could have utilized those 10 days, but due to that influence of Ketu, there can be some whimsical thoughts or there can be a dilemma regarding how to exercise or implement your energy, your course of action. Okay. Now, on 18th and 19th of October, Sun and Mercury, they both are respectively changing the sign. They are coming out of your 8th house and moving on to 9th house. Now, Sun and Mercury, their transit in the 9th house, I will say it is a good transit because normally it allows you to learn new things, follow up the religious and spiritual custom rituals and their studies. You will be able to meet new people regarding the religious communities, some travels, some religious discourses and travels are there to visit to some religious places. Okay. They will be aspecting your 3rd house where Jupiter and Rahu is transiting. So again, it will improve your your hobbies, your creative talent, your means if you are thinking of starting a new kind of work or new kind of um project or venture or any new initiative, or suppose if you are working already in a project, in that case also it will improve your intellect, and you will be able to have a proper communication regarding those work with regards to your team members, your daily contact. Okay, it will give you very good results, but that Ketu factor. So right after the transit on 18th and 19th of October, Sun and Mercury respectively, the initial 10 days there can be a sense of detachment and disinterest. Means you may feel that means it can make you a bit more spiritual. Means spiritually you will be more aligned rather than following the proper belief system and righteousness. Means you may feel that everything is okay. Now that feeling that everything is okay, that will be brought forward by Ketu, because Ketu is a headless planet. It will make you feel that everything is good, everything is so all right, but later on after those 10 days, after the transit happens, those after that 10 days when the planets will be a bit far away from Ketu, slowly and gradually they will revive its significance and they will start giving you good results. Means that time you will feel that yes, now you will understand that what are the things to be done, what are the things to be learned, whatever things to be implemented. or apply it in a real life, okay, in a more realistic way. Because ninth house is not only about dharma, it is also about the next course of work. Means getting the knowledge, getting the wisdom from guru, from your father, and then implemented it in your real life. So as the planets will move away from Ketu, that will be a time when you will be able to have a proper bond between you and your father, you and your guru. Okay, because now it is making you more spiritual, and slowly and gradually you will see that you will be able to focus more at the religious customs and principles. Okay. One thing I will say that Jupiter and Rahu is transiting in your third house, and Jupiter is moving towards Rahu. So, two things. This will allow you to improve your wealth and finances, but again at the same time you have to have a proper clarity regarding your communication and your efforts. Means because of that Rahu means the things which you should not be saying in front of the people in social media or social networking sites or among your daily contacts, you should be careful regarding that. And any kind of work which you are not sure about, but you get some work, so if you are not sure about the consequences, then you should not take that work, because there is a possibility that your benevolence can be exploited or can be misused during this transit of Jupiter in the third house, specifically in the retrograde motion towards Rahu. Okay, so that's it for the Aquarius ascendant people. Try to make the most out of it. For the Pisces ascendant people, your Lagna Lord Jupiter is retrograding in the second house in the presence of Rahu, and it is moving towards Rahu. It is your Lagna Lord and your 10th Lord transiting in the second house in the retrograde motion. So that means that during this particular time you may all of a sudden get some opportunity, new opportunity at your work, or you may get some good news with regards to your work and employment, your job or career, and that can ultimately improve your finances and wealth. Suppose if you are associated with any kind of work related to innovation, technology, or technological sciences, researches, or basically science or futuristic technology or education, in that case also this transit of Jupiter in the second house in the retrograde motion is going to give you very good results. Suppose if you are associated with any work related to education or innovative technologies, now that can be related to artificial intelligence or um, telecommunication sector. In that case also this transit of Jupiter is going to give you very good results. Now since Jupiter is moving towards Rahu and Jupiter is the Lagna Lord, so here two things I will say that one is you have to manage your wealth and finance in a more proper manner, in a more wise manner. Second thing is that there can be a situation where you may feel that you are not going quite along with your tradition, with your culture, and there can be a sense of making the things in a more different way, like acting out in a different way. Now that can create some kind of problems between you and your family members. Looking into the fact that your second lord Mars is transiting in the 8th house, and it will be in conjunction with Ketu, and this transit is happening today on 3rd of October itself. So this also indicates that there can be a sense of detachment or disinterest, mutual sense of detachment or disinterest towards you and towards your family. So there can be a conflict of interest also, or means I will say that try to avoid unnecessary arguments or fights between you and your family members, because this transit is indicating such kind of things to happen, because there can be a moment when these things may happen, because Ketu, where it is transiting in the 8th house and Mars has entered the 8th house today, and Ketu is a headless planet, so it can whimsically make certain environment where Mars is in a dilemma or confusion, like how to channelize the energy. So suppose it is aspecting the second house of speech, so you say something out of nothing, and later on you may feel that, oh, you should not have said all those things, or you may get into a argument or fight. Okay, so unnecessarily you need to avoid certain things. You have to act out of your wisdom and knowledge. Now, 8th house is also the house of in-laws or the married life, or it is the basically the Mangalya house. So, suppose if you are in a married life, or suppose if you are in a relationship or partnership, so 8th house is basically the responsibilities to be followed in that partnership and married life or the relationship. Okay, so that transit of Mars along with Ketu, that conjunction in the 8th house, it means that for the initial 10 days, there can be a detachment or disinterest towards your commitment and responsibility towards those duties. Okay, now at your personal or professional level regarding the partnership and relationship. Okay, so that can create some kind of issues or problems between you and your partner. Now, suppose if you are not in a relationship, in that case also I will say you that 8th house is the house of sudden ups and downs, and Mars is a fiery planet. It's a planet which likes adventure, and 8th house has the energy of suddenness. It is unpredictable energy, and Ketu is a headless planet. So during this particular time, you should be very careful regarding each step and actions which you are following in your day-to-day life. Suppose if you are driving, you should be very careful. You are using the staircase, or you are suppose moving out, then don't hurry. Okay. Suppose if you are late, then still I will say you that don't hurry, because this can lead to some kind of problems, because that is what Mars in the presence of Ketu does in the 8th house. Okay, because Ketu is a headless planet. Now, this Mars will be impacting your 11th house and your 3rd house. So, I will say you that try to avoid any short trips now. Okay, and when you are communicating with anyone in your daily contact or in your social media or social networking sites, means while you are saying something or while you are means writing something, you should be very careful regarding what you say and what you share with others. And it will be impacting your 11th house also by its fourth aspect, that is I'm talking about Mars. Then that means that all of a sudden some gains, now that is like unearned money or unearned wealth, all of a sudden it may come in front of you, means because of that influence of Ketu and that 8th house. Now, Mercury, which happens to be your 7th lord, it entered your 7th house on 1st of October 2023 in the sign of Virgo and got exalted. This exalted Mercury, which is also your 7th lord, it will improve the bonding between you and your partner. Means it will allow you to resolve the problems between you and your partner. Although Sun is transiting in the 7th house, so there can be a sense of ego, but here Mercury will allow you to have a more groundedness, like communicating with the partner in a more grounded manner, in a more better manner, I will say, and that will give you good results in the upcoming days and time. And like suppose if you are having any kind of issues between you and your partner, or at the understanding level, or at how you are dealing with each other, so take some time, sit with each other, talk about it, and you will see the solutions will come up, because Mercury is exalted. So you'll be able to put your logical and analytical intellect in the implementation level, in the application level, in the real world. Okay, so that will give you much more better results. And since Sun is also transiting, so I will say you that don't hesitate to help your partner, or don't hesitate to take cooperation from your partner. Okay, there should not be any ego, and try to avoid critically judging your partner or regarding anything. That will give you much more better results. And I will also say you here one thing, that Sun is your 6th lord, so there will be some issues which may be there. So use this Mercury transit to resolve those issues between you and your partner. Now, suppose if you are not in a partnership or relationship, in that case, this transit of Mercury may bring you across to new people, where you may be able to communicate with them in a much more better manner, and um, you may get some relationship proposals or partnership proposals or collaborations during this particular time. Now, Venus has entered your 6th house on 2nd of October 2023. Now, I will say that Venus is your 3rd lord and your 8th lord transiting into 6th house. I will say The first and foremost thing is that regarding your health, that you should be very careful regarding your health. And Venus rules over water element, and Venus will be under the influence of, that is the aspect of Jupiter and Saturn. So you should have a proper water intake during this transit of Venus in the sixth house, and try to follow a proper health discipline in your day-to-day life. That will give much more better results, because um, your eighth lord Venus transiting in the sixth house, looking onto your 12th house, where your 12th lord Saturn is transiting. So basically, these 6, 8, 12 houses are getting activated in one way or the other. So healthcare is essential. And one more thing I will say you, that while you are dealing with people at your workspace, or with your colleagues, make sure that you don't get into any kind of manipulation. Just follow your work, just follow the work which has been designated to you, not more than that, not less than that. Okay. Because normally Venus in the sixth house transit improves the bonding between you and your co-workers, but since it is transiting in the sign of Leo, which is an inimical sign to Venus, and Venus will be under the impact of Jupiter and Saturn. So yes, means you need to be very careful regarding the work management also. Okay. Now Saturn is transiting in the 12th house in the retrograde mode. So here two three things, that first is health, second thing is that how you are managing your wealth, and wealth related matters, your family matters, has to be given topmost priority apart from your health. Okay. So, and it is also getting aspect of Venus. Venus happens to be your eighth lord. So means you will see that during this particular time, means two things, like one thing is that a sense of compassion, um, or healing. Means Venus is aspecting your 12th house, so that means, suppose if you are going through any kind of health issues, then there is a chance that you may start healing. Okay. And second part is that means if you are already going through some kind of health matter, and you are ignoring the things, or you are not so cautious enough, then the transits may create some kind of health issues. Okay. So you need to be a bit careful, because now if you take the proper discipline, it will lead you to success, or else it may create more problems towards the health. Okay. And since 12th house is the subconscious mind, although Saturn is the lord of the 12th house, but still I will say that Saturn is a very heavy energy in the retrograde mode in the sign of Aquarius. So you have to be very focused, concentrate with full attention and concentration regarding your day-to-day life matters. Okay, so that's it for the Pisces ascendant people. Try to make the most out of it. So as you have seen that how the planets and their energies are going to impact every one of us for all the 12 ascendant signs, and I will request you that watch it from your moon sign and ascendant sign both. Okay. And if you have liked this video, press the like button, press the share button, so that you can be able to share it with your near and dear ones, and your comments are always welcome to me. If you are new to this channel, press onto the subscribe button, click onto the notification bell icon, so that every time I make a new video you get notified instantly. And for any consultation, look into the links down in the description section. You can mail me through my email ID, or you can connect with me through my Facebook or Instagram account. So till then, when I come back with some another interesting content, I'm signing off for today. Thanking you. Bye bye.